And we are live. Oh my gosh, what a privilege to be here with the one and the only international master Laura. And like, how are you doing?
Oh my God, Jesse, it's been a long time coming. I am so glad we're doing this together finally. But yeah, I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing very, very well. And as you guys must have seen on Instagram, that we are joining the Cappuccino Club. So cheers, first of all. Cheers. Yes.
Cheers.
Yeah, and we are here together commentating on the Almaty Open 2025. But Laura, you were commentating on a different tournament. Is it part of the same series?
Yeah, so I actually had commentary on Aktobe Open, which is also in Kazakhstan. And it seems like the Kazakhstan Chess Federation has been doing amazingly when it comes to promoting chess and giving their players the best opportunities to become the best. Especially, I feel focus on women chess. At least that's what I see. For example, in this tournament, we have three opens. One is masters, challengers, and then there's also a classic open. And I see in the masters there are a few girls that are competing for the national team as well. Kurmangalia Valia herself, I think she just beat a grandmaster in the first round in the French Open like 2 weeks ago. So I am definitely very impressed with, yes, their series.
It's
Somehow.
so true. And we've seen some incredible results with countries from that part of the world. I mean, I'm talking about Kazakhstan, I'm talking about Uzbekistan, I'm talking about
Yep.
like it's incredible how the youth and especially the female players, I mean, we've seen some great results in the World Cup, Women's World Cup as well, where in the
Mhm.
first round there was this upset against I am Sophie Millet. And honestly, it's been incredible just watching the progress of the youth players. But you said something very important there, Laura. Is it true that they're playing for a national team in this tournament?
Oh,
No, I'm
uh,
I'm I'm asking.
I,
You mentioned something along the lines of playing for the national team, so I wasn't entirely sure.
yeah, I'm not sure if well, there I know there's European Team Championship this year, but I'm not sure about Asian Team Championship. I'm not aware of these things. That usually you would compete for the Olympia chess team, which would be next year. So I am really not sure if they're competing this year, but I'm sure they're definitely fighting to be in top five. Because yes,
Okay.
to represent Kazakhstan or just your own country, or like you said, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, um, they're doing so much, and to represent their own country, I think even that is a privilege. But when you win a medal, I think you get awarded with some very nice prizes.
Oh, I do like the sound
Eh,
of that.
oh yeah.
Amazing. And would you ever consider playing in the Open tournament in Kazakhstan?
I would. I mean, definitely seeing this lineup that we have here with these top grandmasters, I would need to get my rating up a bit higher to to be able to compete in this tournament. But if I had the chance, I think this is a great opportunity for anybody who wants to improve or even win some prizes. I'm pretty sure at least Aktobe Open had extremely nice prizes, and I have to check regulations for this open because okay, it's been a bit last minute for us um, to realize that we're commentating it. However, don't worry, we will definitely come with all the informations about it. I mean, I know about the time control. Time control is long. They get 30 minutes after 40 moves. So we can be here for some time, Jesse.
Wow. Yeah. And honestly, they have, oh, I'm just scrolling here. Pro
Yeah.
streamer, by the way. They have 31 live boards for us to take a look at. And even though I think our focus would be, and not biased at all, very unbiasedly, towards the top 10 boards, I think that our job, it's gonna be a tough job because usually you don't have this many, well, for me personally, don't have this many games to take a look at. and my ADHD brain wants to take a look at all of them at the same time. So you're gonna have to keep us in check, I think, Laura. Yeah.
Yeah, we will definitely try. I also agree it's much easier when they're like 16 or 15 boards. This we could manage, but 31, that's definitely a lot. Last time when we commentated, we mostly focused on top 10 boards, and then we were checking if somebody in the chat wanted to see a specific player or a specific position, which would be crazy. And also would like to mention, yes, there was a question, does anybody know if Jansaya is retired? She hasn't played since 2023. Jansaya Abdumalik was #1 player of Kazakhstan female team. And I think since she got married, she's mostly a teacher, or she has her own chess academy. So she doesn't play anymore. Yeah. And I follow her on Instagram. She has, I think she's very impressive in general. It's sad that she doesn't play anymore. Hopefully she will come back, but I think it's mostly her academy.
Yeah, that's quite a shift going from professional chess to married life and focused on, focusing all your energy into an academy where previously you were maybe just focusing on your own chess. Is that something that you see in your future, Laura, going from playing to teaching?
I mean, you know yourself that playing can be very stressful. Yes, it's very enjoyable when you do it in a long time, but in general, it's stressful. So maybe I would do like 2-3 tournaments a year maximum, but I would definitely like to have my own academy as well, Jesse, you know,
That's
but I
incredible.
think you're leading the way.
You know too much.
No, definitely. And I just want to say the prize fund of Total Open is $100,000. Uh,
Wow.
so for the Masters that we will be following with 31 live games, it's $78,000, which is a very, very nice prize money, and definitely
Yeah.
also female prizes. So it would be nice to win this tournament.
Yeah, what are the female prizes like, by the way? Do you have them in front of you as well?
Yeah, let's see, because I have a few regulations. I hope I didn't open I opened it in the Kazakhstani language. But first prize is $18,000, and when it comes to female prizes, wait a second. I don't see the English regulation yet. Wait a bit. We will manage.
No problem.
The region open. We will manage to find it. Okay, or a bit later. Maybe we can focus right
Sure.
now to see who are the top players of the tournament.
Yeah, I am already seeing a name that I really enjoy seeing, especially when commentating, and that is Africa's top-rated player, Amin Basim. Yeah, Basim Amin, who is
Yeah.
also a medical doctor, believe it or not. So he just on the
Yeah.
side, he comes from a family of doctors, just decided to study medicine but pursue chess. Crazy.
Okay. Yeah. I know that's actually very impressive. Yeah, to have two different lives. It's completely different. Yeah, and at least that means that in Kazakhstan now, in case of medical emergency, they have a doctor amongst themselves.
True. Wow. What a way to save on costs, probably. I mean, instead of hiring a medical team, just invite some players who are also, enthusiasts
Yeah.
in medicine. There you go.
Definitely.
That's hilarious.
It's impressive. It's impressive
Yeah.
to build two careers. I mean, he's 2,700 plus player, and still, like you said, #1 African player. I mean, that just like, wow, I would like to talk to him definitely. How does he manage to do that?
Indeed. And okay, so we
Yeah.
have the four knights. Is this something that you're well versed in? What do you usually play with the white pieces?
Okay, just before I say that, I found the
Yeah.
best female prize, and it is $1,000.
Okay.
So not bad, definitely not bad, definitely better than most tournaments.
Mhm.
So now we can actually go to four knights. And I am actually a D4 player myself, Jesse. So
Okay.
I don't play E4 myself, but I do play E5. So I can talk to you, how what Basim is thinking. Yeah, 4 knights is Jesse. You are also a d4 player, if I'm correct.
I'm not. I'm an
You're
E4 player. I quite like the
Oh,
four knights. Yeah, I mean, I usually play openings like the Italian or the Scotch Gambit, but also most recently the four knights. So it's maybe something that we can chat about. You from the black point of view and me from the white point of view.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Fortnite has become very popular. I feel like recently, before it was known like mech opening, like just play it for a draw. But even these days, okay, d4, of course, like you said, is one of the options. Bishop b5. Even g3, a3 has become very popularized these days. So a lot of options for white. But I see that he's thinking though, so I'm not sure about it.
Yeah. Let me actually join you because I think that we should be on the
I
same
on sync. Let's do this.
study. Yeah. Let me just make sure that that's
I will make an arrow. I don't know if you see it.
yes, now I can see
Just
it. I
awesome.
do
Yeah.
apologize to chat for like the really bright neon colors. And that's because we obviously love neon colors on this channel. No, it's just the green screen, and to be honest, I will fix that. It's something that I'll fix at some stage. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely. There's no danger of you seeing the last move, but enjoy the colors while you have them because at some point they will go away. So appreciate them. Appreciate us. Yeah, definitely. I'm a bit confused why Yang with white pieces is thinking in this position. He spent 8 minutes to play bishop c4, which is definitely not the most played move, right? Like after bishop b5, you can get some crazy lines with knight d4. Okay, then you can play bishop c4 or bishop a4. Or yeah, you can go with bishop b4 here. I think bishop d6 has become very popular recently. At least this is something that is in my repertoire. But bishop c4, I am not aware of it being played recently.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you?
Yeah, so you mentioned something along the lines of bishop to b5.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, this
it
is
was
mhm.
the most natural. So, but with bishop c4, okay, I guess white is now looking at knight g5, obviously. So I think we should also develop our bishop, even though knight e4 now becomes an option. Actually, yeah, is that how it's actually supposed to be played? I also have Lichess database open, so that helps a
Yeah.
bit to see that
Uh-huh.
this is actually the way to go. And bishop d6. Yeah, actually, I think this is perfectly fine for black.
Oh, along
Yeah,
this, right. Exactly. And this
yeah.
reminds me of, and I'm not even sure if we're meant to mention this, but the Esports World Cup that just took place. And there was the game between Nordibek and Jan Christoph Duda that this happened. I mean, this was the position. And he
Okay.
was on his way to play d5, but mouse slipped d6. And at that point, he just
Whoa.
removed, yeah, he just removed his headset and was like, "Listen here, it's over." Nordibek's face was just, he was distraught. He didn't know how to feel at that point. But
Oh my.
he resigned shortly after. I mean, what a mouse slip, right?
Oh my God. Okay, that's actually yeah, that's to mouse slip d6 instead of d5. It's not recommended, definitely. But yeah, I mean, okay, so you said this has been played recently. Yeah, I feel like it's mostly played in online chess or okay, esports cup chess, which is okay, we could consider that online chess, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. And yeah, I'm not exactly don't exactly understand why would somebody play bishop c4 in a classical game, but I'm sure that okay, Bassem is thinking, so maybe it's not so wrong. He has to now recall some theory after 94, or he has to decide to develop the bishop and play normally. But I think Engine already likes black after 94. Slightly, very slightly.
Mm, knight
But
d4.
yeah. But okay, this game definitely will
Like,
develop, so we can try to jump to board number 2.
let's do it. I'm catching up mentally because, we can't really fully function unless our cappuccino is finished.
That's
So,
correct.
thank you for carrying it so far. But shall we take a look at the opening? Oh, we have a D4.
Yay! Surprise!
Surprise.
D4 is being played. Yeah, wait, I just have to see. Okay, we are supposed to be in sync. That's fine. Yeah, okay, so we have the Queen's Gambit with A6. Yeah, okay. Definitely something I play with black pieces, sometimes with white pieces. And yeah, you mentioned cappuccinos. We are just girls. What can I do? We need our cappuccinos, we need our energy, and we will be here for like 5 hours. So that's definitely not our first cappuccino of the day. Well, not, at least not mine. And definitely we need it. I think, for me, I don't know about you, Jessie, but I am not such good theoretician. I don't like to work on my theory. Yes, I know some basic stuff, but I am more excited about the strategies and the tactical part of the game. So if it was up to me, I would just keep theory.
Excuse me, Matt, but you're an international master. How the heck did you get there without knowing any, or not knowing, and
Well,
focusing on theory heavily? I mean, that's crazy. Wow.
uh,
Okay, share your secrets.
no, it's not that I don't know things, it's just I'm lazy to learn it. If it was up to me, I would just go to the game with 20 minutes of prep just to check what my opponent plays. I would know like 5 to 7 moves of theory, and then I would just say, okay, if this position is 5 by the engine, let me calculate it. Why is it fine by
Mm.
the engine? So I like to spend my time with calculation, and that's why I'm not a grandmaster. If I actually learn more theory, I think I would be closer to the title. But hopefully one day, I will start learning the theory and I can try to jump on that one as well.
Laura for
Why are,
GM. We're
yeah,
here for it.
yeah, and yeah, why are some pieces radioactive? I love that comment. Yeah, just cappuccino. We blame the cappuccino. What to do.
What to do?
Um, Yeah, okay. So just to sum up this opening, so the idea of A6 is basically that you're ready to play C5 most of the time. So in case of takes, you are ready to, well, either play C5 eventually and have an isolated pawn, or just stabilize your position with knight F6. Knight B5 is not possible. The difference is that sometimes you would have C6 and pawn on A7. And you would have a classic Carlsbad structure. And in this case, yeah, you have an option to go all in. And I like that, I like it because, when you have an isolated pawn, the things can heat up for both sides. So I am actually very excited about this game, especially G3. Well, okay, we do have to develop this bishop, but I am not aware of this pawn structure. And let's see what we have. Okay, we have an exchange of queens, which is a bit disappointing, but well,
Oh.
well, I guess we had to do it, yeah.
Yeah, but is this exchange of queens here, Laura, is it good for whites, or would you prefer the black pieces here?
Usually, you wouldn't go in the endgame with black pieces. Typical for isolated pawn is to just attack with it. You have more space, you have better squares, c4 square and e4 square, and you should take advantage of that. And in this case, I think after we will see knight b3, I assume black has a specific reason why he went for it. What is that reason? I assume, I don't know, but I will assume it has something to do with black going for a long castle. I don't know, let's say bishop f5, bishop g2, long castle, and then I'm ready to play d4, which is very important.
And it's not possible for white to long castle play a move like rook d1?
Yeah, definitely something I would need to consider. I don't know if I went correctly with bishop f5, but maybe it's not so wrong. 8-6. Okay,
Mm.
wait, what? Okay.
H6.
That's completely different that I was going for. He, I guess, wants to ask where's this bishop going from f4, which is
Mm.
actually a fair question, right? Actually, a very good question. I want to see, in case of bishop g2, if I can trap the bishop somehow here. Or maybe...
I'm thinking maybe you have to play something like b5 first. Like b5 or k7 or something.
Slow way. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it's working. Right? So after bishop g2, what do we do here? Okay, now we could still go for this long castle idea, and then the bishop would be trapped. So actually, it's not so stupid to play 8-6 for a long term. Because, okay, IRD is to play d4 as soon as possible. And also, yes, how will this bishop come out? If white plays e4, we are happy. If white plays g4, we are happy because we win a pawn. So actually, bishop e6 maybe just here, not rushing into anything.
It's true, and somehow we still have a game in the database that has been played in this position with one game, in fact, and it ended in a draw. Yeah.
Oh.
With the next
that's
Rook c1 and so on. Yeah.
It was in exactly this position, bishop e6. Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and after rook c1, there was g5 played and not long castle. I assume there was an issue with some checkmate ideas here.
Oh, wait, can we go back? What do you mean?
Yes.
After long castles and knight. Oh, wow. Okay. That's crazy.
I don't know, or maybe there's something else also, but that's
yeah,
that looks
b5
pretty.
maybe has no, but b5 and your knight's hanging, so there's really no proper way to deal with. How the heck do you deal with this?
I don't
You
know.
can't. I mean, you can
I
play
think that
maybe
you shouldn't castle. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe something like this would work, but maybe it's not ideal when you play 8-6. Yeah, it's not something that you want. So after rook c1, that's actually a good question. g5, bishop c7, and rook c8 was played. And after bishop c6, then we terrorize this bishop forever and ever, and now we take it. Okay, that was the plan. I think that game is fair enough. We might see something like this.
Maybe then white will try to keep the pawn isolated and just continue with exchanges, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely still a game. I think if I go bishop g7 here, in worst case, I could take back and play with this bad pawn, but I don't think you can break through with white pieces exactly. You could go for this pawn structure, but I think my bishop is much stronger than yours, so I do not recommend that in this type of scenario. So in case of castle, I think worst kind of scenario for black is something like this. Yeah. Oh, even I don't
Let me
know.
try and catch up. I'm not sure why it wasn't updating, but I will try to catch up. So
something isn't updating. Yeah, sorry, I don't know
it's all
why. Let me turn it off and on again.
Yeah, I'll try to do this one.
So let's see where you are. Okay, after 8-6, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Actually, we will come back to this game. I'm pretty sure. Okay, bishop g2, bishop e6 is very normal, and after rook c1, I wonder if g5 will be played. Actually, it's I'm curious about it. I could go rook c8, though. Maybe. Maybe.
Rook c8, you said?
Yeah, instead of g5, could I go for it? Okay, I'm gonna follow you on the screen. Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, you are okay. You're already after g5.
A move was made. Bishop d2 was played.
Oh, it was perfect. Yeah, I think.
Nice prediction.
Let's see. Yeah, bishop e6. Okay, even if the queens are off the board, because the pawn structure is dynamic, things can go wrong for both sides. I mean, they're both grandmasters, you know? That's actually kind of crazy that you play grandmaster in the first round and you're like second seed of the tournament.
Yeah,
I
that
know.
just comes to show how strong this section is. You said is there a cut-off for if you check out the regulations, there's like
Mhm.
you have to be a certain rating to play in the Masters?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be 2400 plus actually.
Mm,
Yes, master is 2400 plus, but of course for their own players, I think they make some exceptions. I think, yeah, for example, there's some 2300 and also a 2220 girl. So mostly I think there's some exceptions for the girls here, for the Kazakhstani girls, which is
okay.
good. You know, like I
Yeah,
said, they are definitely trying to improve their female chess.
I
Female
really,
chess,
really like that.
yeah, competition.
Yeah, girl power, girl power. I'm looking through the list of players as well and just seeing how many familiar names we can spot, but
Okay.
lots of different countries, and I'll probably, when I can, open up chess results to see
Mhm.
how many different countries are actually playing just in terms of statistics. But I don't trust, Laura, I just don't trust my laptop enough. We just have like trust issues. We're not there
I've
yet.
seen it's gonna be better tomorrow. Okay, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, Laura's going to save me tomorrow.
Yeah, streaming from laptop, it's dangerous. You know, you never know when something breaks. You know, or just collapses, or black screen. You know.
Oh my gosh, we shouldn't be saying these things. You're jinxing
So
it. Oh
let's
no.
not
Positive
manifest.
thoughts.
Definitely. No, definitely very, very strong names. Amin Bassem, Hakobian Aram, Matlako, Maxim. Then we have Naranyan, Jacobson, Brandon. I think last tournament also in Kazakhstan, Aktobe, on board number 7, we have Korean Lee Yoon-hyek. He is competing for his last GM norm, I think, if I'm correct.
Oh,
So he's international master and competing for GM norm. I mean, so many strong players here. But definitely, I know I'm familiar with most of Kazakhstani girls' teams. So Nurman Alua, definitely one of the bright stars of Kazakhstani chess. Then, like I said, Kurmangalieva Lia has definitely beaten her fair share of grandmasters in her life,
yeah.
and definitely we will try to follow the girls as well. But let's just see what we have on board number 3 very quickly.
Yeah, let's take a look. Okay. If someone's first name is Sugar, they have to be like the sweetest person in the world.
that's that's an amazing name. Okay, I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
imagine you open the
We
door
need
and
to
it's like,
meet.
hey, Sugar.
We need to meet him. We need to meet him definitely. And he's an international master, so probably also looking for a GM norm. But yeah, Sugar will try his best with white pieces against Matlako Maxim. There was also d4, d5. Yeah, now we have the Slav Defense, the classic one with Queen c2, and yeah, just well, nothing special here, just theory. It's very typical when you go Queen c2, we take it to allow Bishop f5 to happen, and then White fianchettos his bishop. So nothing breaking here. The plan is now to play e4, but we cannot exactly do it immediately. For example, after knight c3, then Black would most likely try to stop e4, either b5 or knight e4. Yeah, both moves were played. I'm looking at Lichess database, so that helps me a bit. So yeah, that's why rook d1 was played, and Black will now try to be ready for some c5s in the future, again, to stop e4s, or at least to, release the tension in the center a bit. Yeah, definitely still a theoretical position right here, but Sugar a bit has spent some time already.
Yeah, I really like those comments. Very well said. And just going back to your knight c3
Uh-huh.
idea, and then
Mhm.
pointing out, I mean, I have the database open on the side there, b5 being one of the main moves that are being played in a position like this. It just seems so counterintuitive because of how
Yes.
weak c6 becomes. Like, what is the idea behind b5?
Okay, yeah, let me go for this after bishop g6. Yeah, after knight c3, if I go for something like b5, the idea is I want to play b4. And yeah, the point is, yeah, you cannot play e4 for that reason. And if you decide to go for a4, b4 will happen anyway. And then this knight in c3 is questioning his life choices.
Oh,
So
okay.
I guess you want to play something like knight e5 to punish my c6 pawn, which is a very good question. But I think in this specific scenario, you cannot do much about it. Even if you try with something like rook d1, I think just queen c7 saves the day. And also this e5 pawn is very weak. So it's very hard to actually to take advantage of this diagonal, especially because rook c8 will be played later, maybe some knight b6 or queen b6. And at the end of the day, it looks like it's a weakness, but I will play c5 and then you're going to be in trouble eventually.
Mm. Okay, that makes more sense now. Thank you.
Hopefully that was correct.
Yeah, no, I believe you wholeheartedly. Plus, it makes sense. So if it makes sense, that's it. And I heard that pretty much anything anyone says with confidence is likely to be believable
Okay,
to those who
I'm
have
glad
heard.
you believe me.
Yeah.
No, definitely. It's I question every move on the board. It's like, oh, was this the best move? What's the plan? Could something have been better? So definitely, a lot of questions are welcome. So also in the chat, if somebody has any questions or you want to check out any game, that's very welcome in general.
Yeah. And there is no such thing as stupid questions. And I won't
Yeah.
follow that up with what my teacher usually said after that. Um, my teacher always said, there's no such thing as stupid questions, only stupid people.
Uh,
And that just resonated with me and stuck with me for the rest of my life. So there you go.
okay. Yeah, that's actually very fair. That's actually very fair. Um, so yeah, let's not be stupid. let's ask let's ask stupid questions instead. No, definitely. There can be annoying questions, but not stupid questions. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. So you
And
mentioned some, sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I want to say that board 21 has already finished because I think that Urazayo has not shown up today.
Mm,
Um, so Adita actually has won his game. I think you can be late for 15 to 30 minutes, and then after that you lose the game. I think it's actually 15 minutes, but again, would have to the 30 minutes, yeah. So after you're late for 10-30 minutes, then yeah, you lose the game, you forfeit the game. So I think that game has been finished. Just want to mention that.
yeah, no, it's very important to mention, especially this default situation, because I remember when FIDE implemented a zero
Mhm.
tolerance rule, where if you were not seated and there to shake your opponent's hand when the game started, you would lose immediately. I think that was at the Olympiad or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's in general it's a terrible rule
Yeah.
because when you play a chess competition, you have over 500, sometimes like you in Olympiads over 1,000 players, and you cannot stay in the same hotel. So you have different hotels and different playing halls, or just in general, playing hall is not the same as the hotel, and it's some traffic or just anything can happen, and that means that you have to be at the board 30 minutes before
Mm.
just to be safe. And it's it can be very tough. So I like that in this tournament you can be late for 30 minutes because yeah, in case of a traffic jam, you don't need to stress out.
Indeed. Yeah, I agree with you there. And yeah, you can't control these things. You can't control the weather. You can't control things that are beyond you unless you walk really fast or run. But I can't really say that us chess players are famous for running. So there you go.
Yeah, definitely not. Even though it was impressive, you probably saw the videos from Magnus in the Budapest Olympiad. Exactly. You know what happened? There was a traffic jam. Budapest is the capital city, and from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I think everything stuffed. You will be late everywhere for 30 minutes. And he ordered a taxi. The taxi was in a traffic jam. He realized it will not come on time. He took a bike and he drove to the playing hall with a bike. So that was one of the rare cases where chess players do sports. But okay, Magnus is definitely an exception in all cases. So what to do here?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch on social media, just him rocking up fashionably late as always. But you know what, Laura? I'm looking at the evaluation gauges on the left-hand side
Okay.
of just all the boards
Oh,
that are available to us. And one
I
stands
see.
out specifically. It might be an error. I haven't clicked on the game yet, but board
Let's
number
click it.
6. Do you see that?
Let's click it. I see it, and it's an error because okay, if you
No!
yeah,
Why are you
sorry
gonna
to
do
tell you.
this?
Yeah, it's not yet a time for such mistakes. Even though yes,
Oh,
we do cheer for some mistakes. Let's be honest, we like drama.
we do. We do.
But sadly, this is a mistake. This is actually a very classical opening of Carlsbad structure. I actually just came from France, where Jacobson Brandon played a tournament on also mostly on live boards, and I remember that he does play Carlsbad structure with white pieces all the time. So this type of positions are definitely his stuff. And let's see, after castles, knight h5. This is very typical maneuver to exchange the pieces, and definitely white didn't play bishop g5, but he took, and after queen e7, I think white will play something like queen c2 or a3 or rook b1 and go for the b4 plan.
Mm. All right, yeah, just catching up with
Yeah,
where you are. Okay, there you go. So there are the arrows A3, B4, Queen C2, and Rook B1. I like that, showing where exactly white should be attacking or focusing on in a position like this. Do you often see that, or like figure out which side you need to or want to attack according to your pawn structure in the center? What is like a quick indication of that, or does it usually come with studying theory or understanding middle game concepts and so on? Because here I would often think white should be attacking on the king side.
Yeah, so this is a very specific structure. So when I talk about Carlsbad structure, I mean exactly this one. So white takes on d5, white will play e3, and black will play c6. So no c5 here because black has not played a6 and has already developed the bishop on e7. So going for c5 would make no sense. So this is a very typical Carlsbad structure when it comes to this. It can also come from Caro-Kann, which I play myself with black pieces, but mostly from this d4, c4, and taking on d5. And this is very specific structure. White can decide to go for knight f3 or knight e2. And Jacobson, in many cases, I saw him play knight e2, where his plan would be to castle, go f3, bishop f2, and like you said, either play e4. That's usually how you go for it.
Mm.
I think that's what I saw most of him, mostly what he plays. But in this specific scenario, when black forcefully, white has no choice but to give up this bishop.
Mm.
Yeah, it's either by this or this, but you don't want to give this bishop up for this knight on g3.
Yeah.
So after taking on e7 and after queen e7, white now doesn't have an option to play f3, e4 anymore because it's too many weaknesses.
Mm.
Well, he could try it actually, like queen d2, this f3, but it's like it's not natural, you know. It feels a bit you're forcing yourself to do it, and that's why I assume that he will go for the queenside plan, because anything else is not. It doesn't look like a great option to me. What would
Mm.
you try to go for?
Yeah, I like what you mentioned there. I mean, it does make sense now to go for the queen side just after how you sort of explained that. It just feels a little unnatural to be attacking, maybe in the center where that could help black. Because maybe black also has a little bit more access to the king side than what white does,
Yeah,
is what I can
yeah,
see. Not sure if that perception or at least evaluation of that position is or this position is correct. I mean, minority
yeah.
attack, right, as well.
Yeah, exactly. Minority attack, and definitely we will. I think we will see it because, okay, black. If we try to go to the live position, bishop e7, queen takes c7. Black
Yep.
would love to exchange his white squared bishop for white squared bishop, because in this case scenario, black's bishop is like the worst piece on the board. So black will do anything to try to play on the king side. So I sometimes see queen g5 with bishop h3
Mm.
ideas and then bishop f5 ideas. Black would sometimes even play g6, knight g7, bishop f5, just to forcefully exchange this bishop. And that's why white has to have a specific plan here. And I feel like going for either f3 g4 or f3 e4, like you said yourself, it's yeah, it doesn't, I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it, you know.
A little bit forced.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a
Mm.
bit forced. Let's see. Do we have any games? Yeah, we have games here in exactly this position. So rook b1.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the most natural move. But queen d2 definitely still an option, because after knight d7, you can still go for rook a e1. So this has actually been played before. And let's say after knight f8, knight c1. So white would still want to go for this plan. So it's still possible. Um, just Brandon has to decide if it is worth it without the black squared bishop. Okay,
I
definitely
understand.
too much theory, you know, too much theory. This is very, like you asked me, how do you know these things? I actually studied the Carlsbad structure with my
Mm.
coaches, because I thought I played it and I thought that I understood it. And then I studied it with my coaches and I realized, oh, they told me white actually has 3 plans to be active in this position. So yeah,
Mm.
once is f3 e4, one is going with b4, and the third one, well, could probably be also kingside attack with some g4s, but okay, that's very rare. Mostly
I
these two are
see.
very common. Very
Nice.
very theoretical position, very not theoretical position, but just like, yeah, you have to study it and maybe experience it to know how to play it.
Mhm. I definitely think, yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, it's a practical thing. You can learn all the concepts in the world, but unless you experience it in practice, it's not going to make much of a difference in your play. So I agree with you there. And I like this. I'm learning a lot from you here, Laura. This is
Oh,
incredible.
that's nice. It's actually very nice. And okay, this is definitely a position. I don't know if the game will be interesting. Usually, I have to be honest, when I see these Carlsbad structures, I'm just like, oh, not again. It feels a
Oh,
bit
it's
boring
boring for you?
because there's a lot of movement. You have a plan, but you have to move like 10 pieces to activate the plan.
Oh,
And there's going to be a lot of movement up and down without a lot of action. But white could definitely, I seen Brandon after something like, I don't know, if black man goes for g6, play f4, f5. So definitely there's options that this will be an active game, but you know, we have to see what's going to happen. But I see an active game, board number 4, because there's rook on f3, and that makes me happy. So
oh my gosh. This is
so
a looks like a Kali Zukertort baby.
Sorry, like what?
Akali Zukertort. Maybe my pronunciation's really bad.
Yeah, no, maybe I don't know.
Oh my
How do you
gosh.
Zurkatlet?
Collie, Colle. How do you
Collie?
pronounce that?
Collie? No, maybe I don't know this term.
Oh, yeah. So the plan's usually like d4 e3, put the bishop on d3, put the bishop on b2, and then try
Collie
to control.
system. Oh, like a
Yes.
system. Okay,
Yes, sorry,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Collie.
I didn't know that you were talking about the opening. Okay, Jesse, take me away. Let's see what happened here.
My bad. I'm so sorry. I should be yeah, well,
No, definitely
explaining
Collie
myself.
system definitely is well, it's not very common to be honest.
Mm.
But it's played, but this opening came from knight f3 d5 b3. So that's a modern way to play with white pieces, because I think after e6 e3 this is like Queen's Indian, but instead of playing with black, you play it with white pieces with a tempo
Yeah,
up.
true. Queen's Indian, you develop the two bishops, e7, b7. True. I like that.
Yeah, and after bishop e7, now Alexa actually decided to play d4, so he didn't want to go with c4, which I would, if I go for this system, maybe I would go for c4, but it could transpose. But he had different plans, because after d4, he went bishop d3, and okay, this kind of resembles some also London system as well.
Yes.
Just accept that you put your bishop here instead of playing, I don't know, let's say c3,
Yeah.
which is very
Exactly.
interesting.
I like the difference because now with the bishop on b2, you have a larger chance of being able to play immediately f4 with the pawn as well.
Yeah, and that's what he went for. After c5, he just went knight a5. He's like, okay, I don't care. And he went f4, and after rook d8, just rook f3. Yeah, just typical rook lift in the position. And after rook h3, yeah, I would be a bit of afraid of some sacrifices here.
Indeed. Yeah, I've played this with the white pieces a couple times. I mean, shamefully, because I'm not a huge fan of systems in general. But it's always good against higher rated players where you don't really mind something solid and something equal, and you just want a, you know, decent result. And it's really hard for black to sort of fight back against a structure like this, I would say.
Yeah.
But with the black pieces, what do you think some of the ideas might be?
With the black pieces here, yeah, definitely, there's this typical saying, when you're being attacked on one side, strike in the center. So if there was an option, I would try to open the center. That's why black also went c5. But in this kind of scenario, if I take on d4, it's again, I think white could also just take with a pawn, and now these knight e4s are not possible. So I think like knight e4 that was played also in the game, I think that's a very healthy way to respond, because I would like to play f6 and throw this knight away
Yeah,
as far as possible. I don't like
that's
this
true.
knight. Like you said, it's very hard to play against it. It's like a strong piece. And
Yeah.
I feel like I would want to go f6 as soon as possible. And now it's up to white to see how to respond to this. Like rook h3 seems
I would,
natural, right?
yeah, I
Or
think it was played as well, right?
oh,
I'm
was it?
not sure. I'm not sure if this is the live. Yeah, it's a live position. Rook h3 was played.
Okay,
So
okay,
really nice prediction there. Yeah, I like
uh,
this. Hmm.
okay, okay. Yeah, exactly. But what do we do after f6?
I was looking at f6. What about queen h5? Is there anything there?
Yeah, this is what we have to calculate, because can I just take your knight here?
Yeah, that's what I'm also trying to
And
see. But then you
yeah,
just come back and like king g8 and there's like a draw or something.
yeah, I'm
Or
trying. Yeah, I'm trying to find if I can play even g6 exactly after queen h7. Let's say I go
yeah,
here, takes rook f7. Rook h8 and knight
Mm,
f8. It looks like somehow that black has...
survives.
Oh, but maybe instead of rook h8, we can go rook h7. Right. Can
Oh,
we?
rook f7, okay.
I mean, there's knight d6, but
So
then I
maybe
can
you have
just...
to take the knight first.
Which knight?
You have to take the knight on e4 first, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So maybe in this position already, I don't know if rook h3 was actually played, but okay, if it was, maybe I could start with bishop takes e4 immediately, and after d takes e4, sorry, yeah, now queen h5, yeah.
Okay, let's go back here, here, and queen h5. Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Wait,
yeah,
is
exactly
this
this
what
one,
we're
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at?
Exactly this one. Yeah, that's maybe this is an option. So definitely, I think that going f6 with black pieces is a bit risky immediately. So right after rook h3, I don't know. What do we do? Do you think? Oh, I don't know. I think black could consider playing f5, but that just looks ugly. Yeah. Knight takes e5 maybe, and which piece do we take? That's tough actually. I could take with an f. Okay, let's take with an f takes c5.
Let's
And
quickly catch up with you.
yeah, so after rook h3, black takes knight takes c5, for example, and f takes e5 back. Maybe this is the way to go for black pieces, and maybe play something like f5 now, but it or g6. But again, I'm not sure if this is something you want with black pieces. It
This
feels
is so
like
scary.
yeah, exactly. It feels scary. It feels scary. So I think this is very hard for Samrug with black pieces here after rook h3, because it's easy to turn on the engine for us and see what is best. But imagine playing this at the board, Jesse.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, the moment you feel some pressure on one side of the board, not only are you burning more calories, but you kind of have more to think about, right? You have to analyze so many different lines and extra, always worrying about your king's safety. But yeah, I mean, theoretically, you know exactly what to do, right? You need to open the center, you need to do these things, but
Mhm.
practically speaking, how do you actually do it? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Here, this is up for calculation, definitely.
yeah.
And whether you want to weaken your king with g6, whether you want to take here this knight immediately, whether f6 works, whether you want to go h6, but that allows us to never play f6 because then g6 is too big of a weakness. I think there are too many questions for me here.
Yeah.
But if I check the engine, yeah, black would need to take the knight on e5 and go g6, which is, like you said, this is very tough. This is very tough, and we will definitely come up back to this position. But yeah, I like this rook f3 plan. It's always nice to have it on the board yourself.
Indeed. If I may request that we go on our first break of today, I want to fix our radioactive chessboard because we also don't want to get any crazy things happening. But
Yeah.
we'll fix that and then also come back, hopefully being a little bit more prepared on my side. I'm really sorry for all the technical things that have been going on.
No, we love technical difficulties. You know, whenever I'm here, there are always technical difficulties. So just blame me. You know, that's fine. Yeah, I'm used to it at this point.
Blame Laura, I love this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we should bring you on more often then, Laura. I think this has been amazing. But are you okay going on a break and then we'll be back in a couple of
Uh,
minutes?
absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. are back after the very short break. Hope you guys got a refill on your coffees. And yeah, I'm actually talking about you, Laura. Are you sitting with another cappuccino right now?
No, I am sadly still on the same cappuccino. I am saving myself for later part of the day when we will be in time trouble and I will need my caffeine. How about you?
Yeah, I also didn't get a refill. So honestly, it's just full on disappointment at this stage, but it's okay. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, very, very. You can be disappointed with us, but don't worry. We will definitely come back with cappuccinos a bit later, maybe after our second break. Well, I think definitely after a second break, at least for me. um,
Indeed.
but that's a long time in the future. In the meantime, Botais has asked in the chat, yeah, what is the prize fund about this open? And actually, we have three tournaments: Masters, Challengers, and Open. And we are following the Masters right now, which is a tournament for players above 2400, which is very, very strong tournament in general. And we have 62 participants. And first prize for this challenge for Masters Open is 18,000 US dollars, which is, I wouldn't complain to win an Open like that. And there's actually 15 prizes and a first female prize of 1,000 US dollars as well. But in general, overall, there's 100,000 US dollars of prices. Jesse, that's not an everyday tournament.
Yeah, that is some life-changing amounts right there. And honestly, I love seeing chess events being sponsored so highly. And I mean, this really adds to the prestige of the game. And to be honest, I think especially with bigger events, the higher the prize fund, the more intense it is, maybe even the larger the audience. So I
Yeah.
really like to see them fighting tooth and nail for such a huge prize bucket. So it's quite nice there. So thank you so much for updating us about all the extras in terms of the information around the event. But I feel like, yeah, I still wanted to take a look at the statistics before we dive into the game.
Okay,
So
let's
I'm
go.
gonna do something that I shouldn't do, and and that is open up chess results. I know, I'm a rebel.
Good luck.
Yeah, just say some prayers just in case. Yeah, case. I don't even know what the abbreviation KAZ. That's it. No, everything is in Kazaki. I don't understand it. Oh dear.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
That is a huge problem, but it's okay. We'll just. Oh, there we go. Almaty region open, and it is in fact in English, so we're happy to see it. Okay, I've got the stats in front of me. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Okay, let's go.
So in the Masters section, there's 21 Grandmasters, 2 Women Grandmasters, 24 International Masters, 2 Women International Masters, and 11 FIDE Masters. And in total, 16 different countries. And do you want to guess which contingent is the largest after Kazakhstan? Not
Oh,
Kazakhstan. Yeah.
well, okay, yeah, I thought you would make me guess Kazakhstan, which would be you were testing my IQ levels. Okay, that's fine. um, second, second one after Kazakhstan. Well, I think a lot of players are competing under FIDE flag.
True. Yes.
Is it for enough for second place?
Yes, exactly. They're tied for second place actually with another country. Well,
Okay.
FIDE being a country. Yeah.
And I think somebody in chat suggested it. Is it India?
It is. It is
Okay.
India. Well done.
Yay, chat, we
Yeah.
did it. We solved the trivia.
Yeah. This is a flag that you don't often see. There's one player from South Korea.
Yeah.
One player from South Korea, which is really awesome to see. Love to
Yeah,
see it.
and
Two from Singapore. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and the player from South Korea that I mentioned before, I think he's trying to become first South Korean grandmaster.
Oh, there aren't any grandmasters in South Korea. Sorry, I missed
Uh,
that.
I
That's
I
amazing.
This could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. I think if I remember correctly, but again, maybe I will check that during the break, not now. But or somebody in the chat, if you have enough free time, you can definitely check that. But if I remember correctly, that's he was also playing in the last tournament in
Yeah.
Kazakhstan, so Aktobe Open, and I think he tried to score GM Norm there, but he didn't manage at the end. So
Okay.
maybe this time this is the charm.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned about the GM norm. Does he have any GM norms yet, or he's still going for it?
That's also a good question. I think he might have already two, but again, we'll check this. We'll check this in a break because finding norms is a tough thing to do.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah, a lot of googling, a lot of things to see. Yes, he already has two norms secured. Okay.
Oh,
So
he does. Incredible.
he just needs one more. I'm not sure if he has the rating or he already had 2500, but I think he just needs one more norm and that's it, and he would be the first Korean grandmaster. But I will definitely double check all this information during the break, so I'm not feeding you wrong information.
Well, great opportunity here for him to achieve that norm. So we're definitely rooting for him. I would even want to go and take a look at that game if you'd like. It's Singapore versus South yeah, South Korea.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. Okay, there was e4, e5, knight f3, Jesse. But
Yes.
this time, Ruy Lopez, yeah, bishop b5,
Okay.
not the four knights. Okay, let's see. Which one was it? a6, bishop a4,
Do you
and
enjoy facing the Ruy Lopez?
yeah, I think I prefer to face it over the Italian. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Um, I think with the Italian, I always go for knight c6, knight f6, and I'm always slightly afraid of knight g5, just very slightly, because,
Oh,
like I said, I am not. My theory memory is not as good, so that's why maybe.
okay. Afraid of a fried liver attack. Wow. That is hard to believe. I feel like you're just asking someone to play that against you right now. Yeah.
Um, yeah, totally. That's what I want. No,
So yeah,
I would try to manage it, but like there's slight discomfort in it,
I understand
Yeah.
completely.
Okay. So, but we have after bishop e7, bishop takes c6, Jesse,
Yeah.
by Lee.
Yeah.
So, what did this go into? D takes
I
c6 and
I'm so
d3.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I think it. Okay, bishop takes c6 is obviously not the main move, but it might be becoming quite popular. Let's see what happened after d3, knight d7, bishop e3. Okay, bishop e3 is not the main move. Knight bd2 is clearly the main move, and after castles, knight c4, f6, and knight h4. Now, obviously, I don't know these things. I'm just checking the Lichess database, which makes my life very much easier, to be honest. Um, but bishop e3 is on the board, and I think this is some preparation by the Korean grandmaster to be, because after c5, he just goes for knight c3, trying to jump on d5. But I don't think black is really worried because he will always have c6.
Mm.
So after a4, b6, knight d2. Okay, knight wants to go to c4. Let's see how are we doing this. Okay, what do you think about these two knights?
The knight sitting on d2.
uh, wait, sorry, just a second. Yeah, what do you think about the knights on e3 and c3?
Oh, okay. We're on the same page now. I
Yeah.
really like this. I really like this. I mean, like you said, black will always have c6, like to try and stop the knight from going to d5. But I quite enjoy it. It reminds me a lot of, some lines in Sicilian that I've played with the white pieces, where the knight sometimes goes to f5 and so on. Also reminds me of a game that I played in the World Cup this last month, and I got my knight somehow from d2 to try and get it to d5. So I played like from knight d2 and then went knight f1, knight e3, and so on.
Yeah.
So I like this sort of control over the light squares for white. What are your thoughts?
No, I think you summed it up pretty great. I am a bit confused by Black's decision to actually go bishop g5 and allow white to come with a knight to e3 so easily. But at the same time, I understand, because otherwise Black would have went f6, and then this bishop could have been, well, not a very active bishop in general. So, okay, let's say that I support his decision, but let's see how the game continued after rook e8, queen d2, knight f8. Okay, so basically putting some pressure on the f5 and d5 square, and f4. I like this. Okay, Lee is definitely playing for a win here. He wants to win. He wants his last norm. And after rook
Chat
f1,
says that he hasn't quite reached his 2500 rating yet, but I do feel like getting the norms are the hard part, and maybe the rating, even though it's still very difficult, might be the easier of the requirements.
yeah, depends on a person, but I would agree. I think norms are much harder to achieve. So I think once he achieves them, I think the rating will come eventually. And also, Salt has mentioned that, there's a South Korean grandmaster who was a Soviet board player and switched from FIDE to South Korea in 2006. So he will technically not be the first one, but maybe also the only active one if he manages that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. So after, this is the live position after c6. Black has just played it, and Lee with white pieces has down to 50 minutes, which is not too bad. I mean, we still have 22 moves to make to time control, but I think somehow now we're gonna try to attack Jesse. How are we gonna do it? Okay, I would like to take advantage of the f7 square, but I cannot get rid of e6 bishop. That's a bit annoying. I would like to move the knight from c3 somewhere. Do you think we should go to g3 and play something like knight f5 or knight h5?
Okay, I like it. These are the maneuvers that we're here for. And I quite enjoy it. I mean, I'm quite the impulsive player in terms of I wouldn't even consider bringing my knight across first. I would just go directly in and say, listen, yeet, knight f5, what are you going to do about it? And yeah, I think this like trying to reposition the pieces first and be a little bit more patient is the way to go. So I like this. I like this way more. Yeah, and I hope that we'll see it.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to make some sacrifices on g7 eventually as well. Like you said, knight f5, and then maybe knight from ef5, for example, and then maybe knight g7. Let's try to make this work. For example, knight g3, let's say d5, knight g3. Let's say I sacrifice my pawns here. And let's say after something like rook b8, would something like this work is my question. Because after takes, I don't know if you see the position. Are we in sync?
Yeah, no, I'm seeing it. What was in your coffee this morning? Because wow, I mean, I
No,
like this.
I don't. Like I said, I don't know if it works, but somehow I would love to make it work.
Yeah,
Like I
we
don't know,
gotta
rook
make it work.
g8,
Do you take on
rook
f7 as well?
g. Oh my god, yes! I was trying to say that. I don't. I don't. I think this is too much, to be honest.
It's
I
never
think
too
this is.
much. Oh, there's a
I
check.
think. I
No,
think
there's a
there's
check.
knight. Where? Okay, yeah, there's a check, but after king h1, what do you do?
Oh, true.
I think that's only a check, thankfully. But knight f8,
Mm.
though, I think it's very annoying. Okay, maybe knight f6. Okay, this is definitely interesting.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, after knight f6, maybe there isn't any way for black really to do anything.
Let
What
me
is
check the engine. Yeah, this is over. Okay, yay. Okay, let's just see. I'm gonna check with the engine if if knight g7 works. Okay, no. So apparently, let's see what is the defense for black pieces. Ah, king f8. Okay. But
okay?
still, this is definitely something to consider with white pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't seem natural at all.
No, it's way too many moves, but it looked fun to be made. If I go for something like knight a5 immediately, it's also fine. Um, definitely fine. I just don't know what actually black's plan is in this scenario, to be honest. I think black is in slight trouble.
Mm.
Well, maybe if I check the engine in the original position, yeah, it's obviously around equal, of course, as everything for engine is slightly better for white. But actually, knight e2 is a suggestion. And yeah, I think this is much harder to play with black pieces. I think these two knights are going to be very fun to play with.
I agree. I would definitely want to choose the two knights in a position like this over two bishops. But yeah, it's one of those situations where, I mean, it's also always nice to have a bishop, but just because of the range. And I mean, history suggests that a bishop is just always overpowering a knight in some instances, but two knights together can be dangerous. And we also saw that a player like Divya in the Women's World Cup was just so willingly going into middle games where she had two knights or, a knight versus bishop situation, and she loved her knights. So maybe we need to start appreciating our knights more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, I feel like also it depends on personality, somehow.
True, true.
I think Vichy Anand also prefers his knights over the bishops.
Oh,
Um, if I remember correctly. But yeah, somehow, I cannot. If I have a bishop pair, I will think eventually I will manage to take advantage of it. So it depends. Maybe on a day, how I wake up, with cappuccino or without.
yeah, on the day. Yeah, you never really know how you feeling. Are you feeling a little spicy? Do you want your knighty knights or your bishopy bishops? Yeah,
Okay, and do you want a spicy opening?
I do. Let's see.
Okay, let's go on board 25.
25. Let's go.
Yeah, I was trying to see if we have some imbalance in general,
Mm-hmm.
um, and this position popped up, and I was like, oh.
Okay.
um, let's see how this. Okay, so it was the Dutch with bishop g5, and yeah, this is again some theory, but I think after, wait a second, yeah, h6 is not really played, so on move 4 already we were out of some theoretical knowledge, and after bishop d3, d6, takes g4. Move
Oh,
8 and we have g4. Yeah. That's how we go for it. And after e6, takes. Okay, 92. I think this can be very dramatic. I mean, knight f4 is a huge threat. A huge threat. Because then also
how
some queen
does
h5
Black
can
deal
come
with
later.
this? I mean, would an idea be to just castle and play something like King H7, but then no.
That would be so heroic, if Black could
Yeah.
castle in this position. You would be awarded a medal for bravery here. Uh,
Heroism.
yeah, definitely. No, this definitely. I think this looks fun for White, even after something like Rook G1. I think White will forever terrorize you on the king side, just like White
I agree.
Castle. And yeah, I think this is
Natural move, maybe.
just very natural moves. So I think bishop e6 was played. Okay, that's how he's gonna deal with it. And after knight f4, bishop f7. Okay, some questions to be asked, like rook g1.
True. Do you play rook g8 here?
I think so. I was considering also g5, but let's go rook g8. It looks more natural, definitely.
I've been told that I'm a serial pawn pusher, so I need to stop pushing pawns, and so.
Oh no! No, come on, push him, baby.
Push him, baby. Push him, sugar.
Okay, yeah, definitely the way to go. Yeah, rook g8, and again, queen f3, long castle. I feel like white is very comfortable here. I think black would need to long castle eventually. So let's say knight c6 and queen d7. But is it enough for black to be happy here?
That is the real question.
Yeah,
The question
I
we
mean,
ask
maybe
ourselves.
it's fine. Maybe it's not so bad as it seems. Maybe he can survive, yeah. But definitely a fun opening.
How cool would it be though after a move like queen to h3? I'm just like playing around and long castles.
Yeah.
I think things could get interesting. I don't know. I was just like looking at some cool tactical things. I know it's a little bit wild.
Oh.
I
Okay,
mean, it's
that's very
dreaming.
nice.
We like to dream. A girl
No, I
likes to
think
dream.
I think it works, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's gorgeous. I think queen h3 is
So
such a strong
beautiful.
move.
Yeah, indeed, queen h3. But somehow I was also switching on the engine just to see what's happening, and in this particular position, the engine really likes white. But I'm not looking at the variation, and I'm not sure why it likes white more. Is there a tactic?
Instead of which move? Instead of queen h3 or?
Oh, so I'm sitting on queen d7 right now. So it's the
Okay, sorry.
last position we looked at. Yeah.
Yeah, queen d7. Yeah. Why does it like white? Let's see. Wow. Yeah, there actually is a tactic. Yeah. So basically, I can see that engine is just waiting to take on g6 as well, but he would like to go knight d5 basically.
Knight b5?
Knight c d5.
Knight cd5.
Yeah, and I don't know if you go for something like, I don't know, bishop h8.
Bishop h8.
I think we can consider taking on g6 anyway. Well, my engine stopped working.
Oh, because the queen's okay, I get it. Right.
Yeah, and then some c7 will hang, and then some queen e4 will happen. Definitely very dangerous for black.
I like it. Very dynamic.
Very,
this is
very dynamic.
Demio, very cutesy.
But we're far away from it, yeah. After bishop e6, white still has to play some moves. But
this is true.
Yeah, not comfortable for black, I would say.
Indeed.
Okay.
Not a very normal position. But here Miras has 46 minutes versus Srihari's 56. So still a little bit of time. Wait, no, I need to refresh so we can see the real deal times on the clock. 41 minutes for white here. So black has some time to figure things out and probably is trying to calculate a couple things over the board, yeah.
Definitely. I would like to mention that on board, I think it's number 6 between Jacobson and Vass. We have no moves, so the game has been stopped actually.
Which one did you mention? Sorry.
In on board number 6, there was
Number 6.
The game has been stopped. We will not have a continuation until the organizers fix it. So that's very unfortunate. It's okay. We have many more games to cover.
That's true. We were looking at the sideline though, I think, up until some point, like G6 and F4.
Yeah.
Maybe this was just our analysis.
Yeah, it was. Sadly.
All right. Sad. Okay.
Yeah. Sad. Okay, which game can we check now? Let's see.
Oh, can we go to board number 14 for a second? I'm not sure if it's a transmission error or things are
Let's
actually
see.
flying all over the place. But we have Alexei Alexei Godavnov,
Yeah,
Go
Gogano,
Go
yeah.
Goganov.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, no, my pronunciation is really, really horrible against
It's
Bagat Kush.
yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. But Gogano has been my teammate in Turkish league, so I know him.
Amazing.
Yeah, but that was
All
a long
right.
time ago. That's why it's so easy to pronounce for me.
Uh-huh. Do you still play in the league sometimes?
I play in different leagues, but I haven't played in Turkish league in some time. Yeah, they have definitely different players, but it's very interesting system because they have five classic boards, one female board, one under 20 board, and then boy under 16 and girl under 16. So they have
Oh,
8 boards, and you have to make all these requirements to play there,
I
which
like
is very
that.
fun. Yeah, but let's see what the position was. There was another d4, d5. I'm sorry, Jesse.
It's all
It's a
good.
d4
Here to
day.
learn. Knight c3.
Yeah, and yeah, he took on c4. This is again very classical theoretical line. a4, bishop f5, and knight e5. Okay, White could have went for just classic e3 and went for a calm approach, but I like knight e5 because here yeah, this is all theory. I remember knowing this. I play this with white pieces myself. This is forced line. And after g5, knight e3, takes, long castle, and queen c2. Okay, this is again still very much played. If you check the Lichess database, you will see there were like
Oh,
500 games here. And after takes, king b8. Yeah, white goes for long castle. I remember white has an option to short castle as well.
yeah.
Um,
This is crazy theory though. Wow. I mean, move 16 and he has an hour and 34 minutes on the clock.
yeah, it is quite impressive. But yeah, this is a theoretical line, so I assume they know their theory. Yeah, till now. Yeah, that sounds a bit fair. So till move 16, white has long castle. Then now you can see that Kush with black pieces thought for almost 30 minutes to play queen a5.
Yeah.
But yeah, white goes for typical king b1, and after bishop b4, rook h4. Okay, that's fun. Another rook lift, but this time we have a different one.
Hmm.
And there was again an error mistake. So this
Yeah.
was played well, or was it? Again, no, there was a transmission error. I assume this was the position on the board.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
that's a bit
a little
confusing.
unfortunate. Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay. I'm sure this is probably the live position that they were trying to fix. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, this is just out of the opening. I don't like again that we are going for an exchange of queens because that makes a bit less drama for us. This is the dynamic position, so I would like to have queens on the board with white pieces, but I guess black disagrees with me. Yeah, what to do? I mean, I think in general, white should be completely fine here, even though you have this pawn on c3 and a4 kind of as weaknesses, but also black has these h7 and f7 pawns, and this knight on f5 I think is extremely strong. Um, and I think again this is around equal, but what would you pick? Which side would you pick here?
Yeah, definitely considering the time left on the clock. I think Bagat was out prepared, almost sure of it, just because of that indication. But um, yeah, the dynamicism rather of the position. I feel like White has you know, an easier play with the pieces and just
Mhm.
has more freedom in terms of piece placement and so on. But yeah, seems rather equal. I would prefer having a bishop with the open center. So what about you?
Yeah, I think white pieces are doing perfectly fine, but also have to be honest, I wouldn't complain too much with black pieces, because like this bishop is nice, but at the same time, this pawn on c6 is really blocking its activity. So I think with black is happy with exchanging the queens. So
Mm.
I guess let's check the evaluation. Actually, why did my engine stop working? Did Lichess block my engine from using from being
Oh my
used?
gosh.
It's like, no, you're
Lichess,
not
what's
gonna check
happening?
it. It's like, no, use your brain. Yes, so I guess I have to use my brain. I would dare to say this is around equal here. We're using my brain. Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
Your brain is amazing, Laura.
Brain is on braining. Yeah, no, definitely a fun position. Do you want to check board number 1? Because I see there's a g5 on the board.
Let's do it. Board number 1 between Yang
Mm-hmm.
Haochen and
Yeah,
Wassermann. Yeah,
yeah.
I just nailed that right on the head there with the pronunciation.
Um,
Is he not titled? Jiang?
yeah, I don't think he has a title. I don't think he accepted it. By the way, thank you, Timel, for the rate, and welcome everybody to the commentary of Almaty Open 2025. We are covering round number 1. And let me check why he's not titled, because he has a rating of 2465.
And he doesn't have a title.
I think he could have accepted a FIDE title, but he just decided to go for maybe international master immediately. So no
Wow.
need for FIDE master. And he's born in 2011. So he's
Whoa.
14.
Laura.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse. He's young, which probably
Yeah.
means that he got his rating from a coefficient of 40. So he probably skyrocketed to this rating, and he probably doesn't have IM norms yet. I would assume. No,
That's
actually, wait.
incredible.
No. He was just approved of title of international master.
Oh, wow.
Just approved.
Congratulations.
So he does have a title, just not yet on this tournament.
Oh, I see. That's incredible. Well, congratulations to 14-year-old
Mm.
Hao Chen. I think we have to start pulling up our socks there, Laura. There's something that we need to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kai's in 28, but it's okay. We shall move on and just watch this amazing talent
This
play
these
some good
youngsters,
chess.
exactly. We
Hmm.
will definitely follow him. And actually, if we check his position right now,
Wow.
um, I let's actually maybe go to move 14, because I wonder what happened. What actually made black to play g5 in
Hmm.
the first
Oh,
place?
maybe he didn't want another
Double
set
pawns.
of double pawns. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But if you play g5, you have to have very good explanation. So let's see, what was it? Okay, yes, this bishop on g3 looks like a very bad bishop. So after queen e7, h4, you have to have an answer, because this was predicted. And the point is, if I went g4 with black pieces, I guess queen f5 would still be very dangerous for black.
So playing g4.
Yeah, and after queen f5, I would have to take on b3. So
Mm.
knight takes b3, a takes b3, and I guess after h5, Bassem thought that that this was not good for him. After rook takes a8, rook takes a8, and f3. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That doesn't look good for black. Okay, now that I check that one,
No, it's
that's
good
why
to
he
see the
went.
line.
Yeah,
Apparently queen g5 as well. Why queen g5, king h7, queen f5? Oh,
uh, you're checking the line also. Okay.
yeah, I was just looking at the engine to see what was going on. I wasn't entirely sure or
Yeah, and
convinced. Yeah.
And white is better, yeah? Is it f3 or
Yeah, f3, I think, or f4, probably the same
f4?
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that's why black didn't go g4, because it's much easier for white to open up the f file. And let's not do this. But after queen f5, I'm curious, how do we deal with this?
Exactly.
Knight.
Like, is the point that you might have to move the knight because that's the only way to
Yeah,
protect the pawn twice, right? Because the pawn's
correct.
protecting, the queen's protecting, then you're sort of forced to either go knight or even knight h7. So one of these squares. Sorry, I don't want to be like Hikaru right now with too many arrows on the board.
Yeah, which one do we choose? Knight h5 looks the most, I think the most active move, right?
Right, because then you're also aiming towards the f4 square. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think, but okay, Bassem has been thinking, let's see, for some time now. I don't see exactly how much, but
Let's
around
refresh.
5 to 10 minutes, probably not too much. Yeah, he's definitely deciding where to move his knight. I like knight h5, but I think he doesn't like something. Otherwise, this is a very natural move to play. Maybe he's just doesn't like something like queen g4, and that would force knight f6 back.
Oh, true. And
Because
that'd
in
be a
case of
really
knight,
nice result.
yeah, yeah, that would not be useful. And in case of knight takes g3, we would take with the f pawn probably, right? Open up the f file. It's probably okay for black, actually. I don't think this is scary for black, but I think that Bassem wants to win his first round, so that's why.
Very true.
Yeah, so instead of knight h5, we could go knight h7 or knight d7. Knight d7 actually looks very interesting, because I would go knight c5 later. But yeah, I don't know. I think this looks the most natural way to go. Then knight
Yeah, it does seem
c5,
more solid.
knight
You're also
e6.
protecting. Yeah. Oh, this way. Right.
Yeah, I think we go for this square, and then we can consider going for these squares. Okay, definitely a very interesting position. You know, when your opponent's queen is on f5, it's it's definitely time to calculate and
That's
think
true.
about your decisions. Yeah, okay.
But speaking of knight f4, I mean, after something like this, knight h5, is it still possible?
Yeah, knight
Oh no,
h5,
it's
queen
not
g4,
possible
knight
to go knight
f4.
f4 here, never mind. I take it back.
Uh, is it not?
Well, maybe. I was
Well,
just not very happy with it. Okay, yeah. I mean, here
yeah.
and then.
I again, something to calculate. Bishop takes f4, e takes f4, maybe g3.
Mm.
But then again, probably queen e5.
Yeah, maybe
um,
even. Okay, maybe not taking, because I was thinking taking, you
or
fixed your pawn
taking, yeah.
structure, and then you
Or
just take the
taking.
bishop or something.
Yeah, or taking. That's also. Mm, Again, this looks very drawish, yeah, because at some point you have to take knight takes b3,
Yeah.
and you exchange a pair of rooks, and then you ask yourself, okay, who has more activity here? And it's usually white, yeah. I would say that white has more open files with this queen and the rook combination, and maybe not something black would be happy with.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So definitely. Oh, knight h5 is on the board, so he decided to go for
Oh,
it. Okay.
lovely.
So yeah, no, which is very cool, because I am very curious if Yang will go for queen g4 or something else, actually. Because what else could white do? White maybe could go for c3. What do you think about c3?
Hmm. Yeah, if white wants to try and open up the center, but just given black's king safety, I think c3 is a really good try. And I hadn't even considered it until you mentioned it. So yeah. And also if if black doesn't do anything about it, this bishop could in fact even retreat and then d4. Like this could be some dangerous things.
Yes, not even to c2, also to d1, I think, like
d1.
to ask this knight, where do we go, yeah? Knight on h5. Then you force it out of h5, but okay, definitely bishop c2 looks like a very good plan to me. And I think after c3, black would need to take knight takes b3.
True.
And this would be the live position. And yeah, definitely not sure who is better here, to be honest. It's a complicated position, yeah, with this knight on h5. It will jump to f4, but I don't know how long, or if that's even good for black after takes and g3. So after knight h5, I think white has a lot of options. So c3, queen g4, queen f3 even. Yeah, I think white is happy. Okay, but okay, game that we will come back to. I'm not sure exactly what's the live position.
Yeah, I just muted myself for
No,
a
no,
short
it's okay.
moment. But I like that we were able to speak about this. I mean, just upon first glance, looking at the position, I would immediately think, okay, white has a really nice stronghold, a lot of space, and that queen is active. I'd worry a little bit about, black's safety, but after taking an even deeper look, maybe it's actually just fine and it's quite equal. But yeah,
I
I
think it's fine. I just wonder after queen g4 if Bassem will go for a draw after knight f6, or he will be a bit more ambitious actually. That's my question to Amin, if I have to ask one. But definitely we have many games to check. Let's see. Wait, is this the... No, it's... I'm a bit confused what is the live position, because I'm not exactly sure what I have on the boards and what not. No, queen g4 is the live position. Okay.
Yeah, I have to refresh as well just to double check.
Yeah.
Knight h5. But I have the little window as well at the bottom left-hand side to tell me what the live board is, at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page. Shall we go to a
Yeah,
different
correct.
game? I don't think
Yeah,
we've checked out any of the female games just yet.
no, we haven't. That's correct. Let's
Mhm.
see if they have some nice positions.
Yeah, I think on maybe we can take a look at board 29
Let's
between
go.
Leah, a woman grandmaster from Kazakhstan, and
Yeah,
Maxime.
let's go.
And I really like
Because
this.
yeah, I see a Sicilian and I see an aggressive Sicilian.
Mhm.
Because this pawn is already on g5, h4, f4. So let's see how this actually came to life. Oh, queen f3 immediately by Leah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
very confusing to me. Because I don't understand it. Let's see
yeah.
what was her point after queen b6. Just knight b3. Okay, so she wanted her queen on f3.
Mm,
Let's see why. To immediately play g4 and basically say, okay, I'm sacrificing my pawn on g4, but if you take it, you lose a precious tempo. And I believe her, I believe that it's a precious tempo. So after b5, just going for g5, and after knight d7. Okay, this looks a very aggressive approach by Leah.
yeah, I love this. This is like clearly amazing preparation, and this is another reason why I think a lot of these people watching the stream today and just watching the games can learn a
Mhm.
lot from opening preparation like this. I would actually adopt this. Would you play something like this if you were to switch to e4?
Yeah, definitely. I like to go into sideline-ish options myself, and going for something like queen f3 with when you have an idea prepared behind it, your opponent is going to be taken off guard and
Mm.
you might get some extra time. However, I don't know if that's correct. Is Leah down to 30 minutes?
Wow, that is not a lot of time left. Let's quickly take a look.
Yeah,
30 minutes? Yeah.
yeah, I think she was she when you play a move like Queen F3, to be honest, you don't know what to expect, what your opponent will respond with. So you cannot be prepared for everything. So she was out of the opening already on move 9 herself. And they had about the same time with Maxim. And she needed some time to understand what was her plan. And yeah, now she's down to 30 minutes. And well, it's a good question how to continue with white pieces, to be honest. Mm, because what is a natural move here? Something like bishop g2 or h3 or just h5.
That's what I was looking at as well, because the king hasn't committed yet to castling. And how do you take advantage of maybe center? Oh, can you open the
Yeah,
center?
yeah, I'm trying to, in these type of positions, knight d5 is always a move to look forward to, if there's a possibility to play it. Sadly, in this case scenario, it definitely doesn't work. There's no tactics behind it. Going f5 just doesn't do anything for you because black doesn't need to react. So black can, I don't know, just go for a move like, I don't know, rook b8 if he wants to.
Mhm.
I'm curious, does black have any threats though in this specific situation? Is something like b4 a threat? Not really, or is it maybe? Like, for example, if I go for a move like king b1, would black want to go b4? Well, okay, this in this specific scenario, yes, because the knight is trapped. So let's not go king b1.
All right, true.
Let's go f5. Let's go f5 just to see. Even though I would maybe prefer h5, but let's see it. b4. Would I go knight b1? Probably. And now I would like to go a5 and bishop a6, And I don't know how you continue the attack with white pieces. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, coming back to what you're saying here with a5, I I'm starting to like
It's
black's
tough.
position even more now. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, would white be able to at least sacrifice something even before black gets this kind of advancement, like coming back a couple moves?
Yeah, let's, instead of f5, we have to be aggressive. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
How can we be aggressive in this type of situation? It's a tough question. I don't think we can make knight d5 work. I don't think there's enough pieces on the e file to make it work. So that means we maybe have to make space for a knight to come from c3 to, let's say, to e2 square. So maybe queen d3. f5 is top engine move. Okay, that's crazy. I don't see, that's what happens when I don't have the engine on and I cannot check. F5 is actually a top engine move. Wow. And after b4, what, I don't see what is the best response for white here. Yeah, that's crazy. Because it somehow doesn't look natural. Oh, knight a4 works. Okay, so that's the way to go. That's funny. Yeah, so if knight a4 works, I'm sorry, my engine, I'm trying to check, double check with the engine, but definitely knight a4 is the move I missed. Wow.
Okay, I didn't even
Imagine.
see that. Wow, okay, yeah. Well, that's really, really nice knowing that because I would think that maybe the knight on c4 could like take a pawn or something beforehand, but that doesn't really work here.
Yeah, no, definitely very interesting. So b4 actually cannot be played. Okay, that makes a lot of difference actually. Knight a4. Wow. Okay. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. But
Tic-tacs.
Leah is thinking, yeah. Leah is definitely thinking because you have to see this move, yeah,
Yeah,
on the board without the engine, and definitely an interesting game. Uh, we might come back in time trouble if you agree for it.
I definitely agree. Which game would you like to take a look at next? Because I can see that there's another woman player, woman Amina, playing on just the next board, on board number
Let's see it.
30. And they're quite far into the game right now on move 25, with rook g6 being the last move that was played.
Well, what is the pawn doing on h3 and how did it get there is my first
That's a
question.
great question. I do want to just take a look at from the start what happened. A lot of d4. Oh, we have a nice Trumpowsky, and
Yeah,
already
let's
giving up.
see.
Yep, giving up the bishop on move number 3 there. Thoughts on Trumpowsky?
I support it. I played it myself quite well some time ago before engine declined it, and now with the engine, of course, black has very much easy ways to control the position. But from time to time, I support it. How about you?
Yeah, I also enjoyed looking at it. I mean, this also feeds into openings like the Tory attack and so on. You
Yeah.
often playing maybe sometimes even knight c3, bishop g5. So it's really nice to take a look at. Of course, without an engine, now that engines, and as you mentioned, an engine can refute a very popular opening
Yeah.
very quickly these days, and it's tough.
That's why Lichess took my engines away. So of course, that makes it a bit easier to not judge the position. But I love
Yeah.
I love this type of positions that are not typical theoretical till move 30 end game. Like here you play against your opponent in a position that you both have to understand,
Yeah.
or have to calculate well. And let's see, after h5, bishop g2, okay, so h4 by black. This is very interesting opening by Amina. But after knight g2, black has some issues with development, yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Just
trying
some
to keep
slight
up with
issues.
what you mentioned, but the
Um,
after h4.
yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
h4 and knight g2, knight d7, rook b1, f5. So um, here after f5, I think that, okay, black has some questions, where will I castle? Will I keep my king in the center?
Mm,
How do I develop my c8 bishop? Which are
yeah,
all very valid questions.
that's very
Especially,
true. A lot
sorry?
of pawn moves.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of pawn moves. So don't do this at home because this is not exactly how openings are supposed to go. I suppose black would want to go c6.
Mm,
Um, Move the knight, maybe move the bishop, maybe exchange some things. And that's why white went b4 to stop everything.
mm,
Knight f6, so we're still trying to follow the plan, but black is now unable to develop the bishop because b7 pawn is hanging, so that's why queen e7, and finally h3. Okay, so this is how it happened. Good to know.
mm.
And let's see how far is black willing to go here.
Exactly. The only sad thing is the king side is no longer able to achieve connect four, just because of these double pawns. The best is connect three.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a tough situation. We can still hope for some bishop e6 and let's say some knight takes it,
yeah,
eventually. But
true.
uh, that doesn't work. So yeah, Amina has to. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this kind of opening. So I think like white has won the opening battle in this type of
Mm,
scenario. White king is safe, um, pieces are developed, rooks are connected, and he's already starting the minority attack. But okay, this game has continued. Let's see. Just quickly going through moves to the live position just to see what exactly happened,
Oh, sure.
just to see where they are now. I'm sure there were some mistakes made in the meantime, but let's just skip over them. And okay, knight is now on
We can
e3.
take a look at the mistakes. Which sort of critical moments would you pause at?
Well, after e4, I would of course have to think. I would have to calculate. Yeah. So without the engine, it would be very hard to see. But after e4, yes, I think if I'm forced to take on e4, that's tough. That's just tough because to open up the position when your king is on f8, it's very annoying. So maybe do I have to allow this to happen? I guess I have to, yeah. The engine agrees that this is okay for black, which is very interesting, yeah, to be an engine here. But after rook e4, queen d7, knight d4, no, sorry, knight d5. I'm sure these are all healthy moves. I'm just saying that it's very risky to play this with black pieces when you still have two rooks and you're playing against a knight. And with the knight, you never know how it's gonna jump. Yeah.
True.
Probably in L shape, but you never know on which square.
She's got
Here,
jokes.
Knight's got jokes. Yeah. No, I'm just if white manages to play d5 and I go queen c3 and ask you your king where it's going, I don't know how exactly black is responding. And what is the evaluation of this position? Okay, it's nothing too bad for black pieces, but I think this is hard for Amina because her king side attack has stopped. It's over, there's nothing more she can do. There's no way to bring the queen to g2. That means that she has to make her pieces work together. And it's hard when your rook is on g6, your rook is on b8. And the engine would go a6 or c6 to open up the rook, I guess, which makes sense. I like c6 a bit more because it also stops d5, actually. So c6 is a healthy continuation, but I think from human perspective, I don't know, if I go something like queen b2 here, I think this is very hard to control with black pieces. This diagonal, for example, and then some knight jumps and so forward. This is tough, I think. What do you think?
It is. Honestly, I'm going to make a very strong prediction here. I think that we're going to see an imbalance of exchanges. There's going to be two rooks for a queen at some point, because I think black is going to try and connect the rooks on the king side. The king is going to have to move somewhere, and these rooks are going to become very, very powerful here on the e file. And at some point, white's going to give up two rooks, and something crazy is going to happen. That is my prediction.
Okay,
It's very
that's
far-fetched, but yes.
that's nice. Okay, that's nice. I thought you will go and predict that black will win this game. That would be also a crazy prediction, but it's
Yeah.
possible. No, it's definitely possible. I think yeah, engine doesn't mind black's position. I just think that this is very hard to play with black pieces. I would like my bishop to be on this diagonal, to be honest. Then I would feel a bit differently maybe, but yeah, imbalance. Okay, we will come back and we will see. I will take you up on that prediction.
Yeah.
Definitely a game to check.
Shall we go to one of the top boards again?
Let's go. Which one can we go to? Okay, we can just quickly jump to board number 1 because so after knight h5, queen g4 happened and knight f6 happened, Jesse, which is kind of, either Bassem was testing his opponent if he wants a draw, or he is happy with a draw. So after queen f5, he had an option to play knight h5 again, but went for queen d7.
He thought for 9 minutes, so he definitely considered it, even if it was briefly, whether or not to go into a draw with, the first round. And maybe he knows, like, his opponent just qualified for the IM title. He does want to maybe test him as well because Bassem is older and more experienced. So, the end game could also mean good news for Bassem.
No, absolutely correct. I didn't consider this move myself. We were just considering the jumps, yeah,
Mm.
the knight jumps. Because in this case scenario, if we take on g5, I guess we take the queen first. No, or do we? Yeah, we have to take the queen first. And what if I just take the pawn on h6? That's actually a very interesting endgame to have, right? King g5 immediately. That's a very interesting endgame to have, and you have 2 knights versus 2 bishops. However, black will take the b3 bishop eventually, and this pawn will fall, and then black is saying this knight versus this bishop is good enough. But I'm not sure about it, to be honest. We will see it, actually. I think we will see a similar endgame, if not exactly this one. Yeah, but after a takes g5, okay, we are forced to take. And after this, you know what bothers me? After king g5, f4 bothers me. Bothers me a lot.
Why does it bother you?
Because I don't know how to deal with it, Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with the activity of this bishop. And suddenly this king on g5, I cannot take this one. I might have to go forward, and I don't feel safe. I'm a pawn up with white. Yeah, correct. I'm
That's
a
true.
pawn up, and this is not good.
Mhm.
So king g5 is not the way to go. Do you think here king g6 would be played?
Ooh, because in your mind, maybe you know that you're going to get h6 back. And
Yeah.
this way, at least after capturing, taking, you don't have to worry too much about
Yeah,
that pawn.
exactly. And after f4, I think I would have e4. So I would not open stuff up. However, then there's bishop h4, bishop g5 as well. So maybe I'm still hallucinating, Maybe I'm still okay. After queen f5, I'm wondering what Yang will go for.
So this is on the board right now. This is the live position. Yeah, let's see what happens. So would you like to stay on this game, or would you like to go to maybe a
Let's see.
different game?
Yeah, we will come back to this one. Do you want to move to board number 4? Because I see some interesting pieces on that one.
Oh, this was the rook lift game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so rook
That was the
h.
one.
We can go back to rook f3 maybe. Take a look
Yeah,
at what happened after knight e4.
let's see.
So rook h3 was played. Knight takes e5.
Okay.
Takes.
He took with a
Hmm.
d pawn. Okay, we were considering f takes e pawn. Sorry, f
Yeah.
takes the knight on e5,
It's
but
almost
he
always the
decided.
case. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Definitely, he maybe wants to consider some f5s in the future to keep this bishop active, which is, fair enough scenario. But let's see. After d takes e5, g6 was played. Okay, so he decided to go for it. And after knight f3, f5. Okay, so he said, that's enough. I'm not handling this anymore. And he opened up the position and allowed another knight e5. Well, poor knights on e5. Doing a tremendous job on this in this game for sure. Yeah, and
Yeah.
look, all these pieces are coming. Some rook h7 can happen, some bishop g6 can happen. So after knight f5, a4, finally black managed to open up the center. But let's see, is this enough? Is this enough in the live position after rook to f e8? to hold.
Yeah, I like the pressure that white might potentially have on the e6 square, especially now that the pawn is no longer on d5.
Mm-hmm.
But which
That's
side would you prefer to play with here? I mean, what are the ideas for white?
Yeah, I would be worried with black pieces, to be honest, because, like you said, e6 is a weakness. Rook is on h3. Something might come and be sacrificed any moment. My pieces are on perfect squares with white. With black, okay, there's enough coordination, but nothing to be attacked. And what are the plans with white? That's actually a very good good question, because can I win some material if I go bishop b5 or not? If I go bishop b5, I guess you go rook e7, and I want to go bishop a3.
Oh, this is the plan.
If I go bishop b5, I guess you go rook e7, and I want to go bishop a3.
Oh, this is the plan.
Maybe it doesn't, but it looks fun.
Yeah, for some reason the stream dropped, like, but okay, I think we reconnect. Double check. I hope.
Chat, are we back? Chat, please.
I hope so. Okay, let me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to stop the stream. Are we back?
Okay, sure.